Hey guys, there is a remote, deserted ancient temple on a hilltop where nobody comes to visit or worship. But researchers, historians, and archaeologists are not only studying this site, but are baffled by it. Everything about this temple is a mystery. Its origin, its design, and its hidden codes. Let's go take a look at this extraordinary temple called Vijayalaya Choleeswaram. Can you see a temple tower behind the trees? That's the temple. Today, it is called Vijayalaya Choleeswaram, but even its real name is debated by experts. As soon as I enter, I'm surprised by its design. There is no main entrance to this temple complex. This is shocking. You can take any Hindu temple for that matter, an entrance would have been designed directly in front of the main tower. There will be a main tower and there will be at least one more tower with an entrance to the temple complex. But this design is completely different. Not only that, directly in front of the temple, within 100 feet distance, we can see a giant rock face of the hill. This means nobody can make a grand entrance into the temple. Imagine a king sitting on an elephant entering the temple. He cannot do that. He has to come on this side or on this side, which is weird. But this gets even more strange. There's one small entrance at the back, but it's not even designed in the center. It is lopsided. Why? If you look carefully, you will realize why. The entrance and the compound wall were renovations. They were not part of the original temple design. And there's another aspect that's very odd. The main tower is surrounded by 6 smaller structures, and they seem to be facing random directions, completely confusing archaeologists. Again, there is no symmetry followed, and you can see that the design does not follow a typical temple architecture. From the outside, you can see these domes. Although they're destroyed, they resemble temple tower domes, right? So you may think these are also shrines and have Hindu gods housed inside. But what's inside these structures? When you start entering these structures, you will realize that they're all completely empty. There is no trace of any idol, and these structures may have always been empty. Why? So what was the reason for constructing these structures? Did they use them for some strange scientific experiments? Why am I talking about scientific experiments on a temple site, right? Because of these carvings here. We can see genetically modified animals. Each carving is called a yali. Now, what does yali mean? Today, we have made a new species called liger, which is half lion and half tiger. And experts took the first 2 letters from lion and last 3 letters from tiger and called it liger. But this is not new. It was done in India during ancient times. The word yali comes from ancient Tamil language, and yali is a hybrid of elephant and tiger. That's why they took the first half of the word yane, which means elephant, and the last half of puli, which means tiger, and called this animal as yali. And this yali may be a genetic hybrid prototype which could have been combined with many other animals' DNA to create more new species. Now the question is this just fiction, or were ancient Indians manipulating DNA and experimenting with these animal hybrids? Believe it or not, we can see a variety of yalis And we even have specific names for them. The first one is Harinyali, or deer hybrid. You can see the curly horns of the deer here. The second one is Simayali, which is a lion hybrid. I think the face and mane clearly show it is a lion. And the third one, again, a deer hybrid. And the fourth one is even more strange because it has the trunk of an elephant, but it also has the horns of a deer. It is very odd to see regular elephants standing side by side. I wonder what the sculptors are trying to say. And we can see something even more fantastic here. A human hybrid with Yali. The human hybrid is actually called Niryali. It is quite fascinating to see a hybrid with the body of a Yali, but the face of a human. It is somewhat eroded due to time. But on the other side, the face is crystal clear. Look at the nose. It looks completely human. But it has fangs sticking out of his mouth, and it has mane like a male lion. I don't think it has eyelids though. Did ancient people actually experiment with genetic modification and create new species? Of course, you can argue that no one ever found skeletons of such hybrid animals. It's a valid point. But you can also see another strange carving here. This figure looks like an elephant, but it does not have a trunk. Instead, it has two large shovel-like attachments, almost like the beak of a bird. Of course, you can say the sculptor has a great imagination, but paleontologists have actually found fossils and skeletons of animals looking like this. They call them platybelodon or shovel tuskers. They look like modern-day elephants, but instead of having a trunk, they have this weird shovel-like mouth. Is it a coincidence that we see such a carving here? Or did ancient people actually study and experiment with animals? Here's another carving I find quite fascinating. You see what this says? This is showing the external anatomy of an elephant. It shows the front view and the side view of an elephant. Today, when we study biology or veterinary medicine, we study the external anatomy of animals, and we will use the front view and side view to study their external parts. That's exactly what we see here. There is a small band on the elephant's head to indicate that both views show the exact same elephant. This is a system even the police use today to profile and study the so-called animals before they put them in a cage. Were ancient people studying and experimenting with animals just like today? If so, were they also genetically modifying human beings? Perhaps the appearance of the doorkeepers can answer this question. Look at this guy. He has curly hairdo spreading out of his head and has fangs sticking out of his mouth. Is he human or genetically modified? Or is he like a vampire or something? He also does not seem to have any eyelids. See how his eyeballs are sticking out. But I like his fashion sense. He's wearing shorts, but it is so thin and see-through. And he's wearing armlets on both hands. Look at that. He's wearing demon-shaped armlets. If fashion designers see this today, they will flood the market with these armlets right away. And he's holding something. What is it? This is the world's very first buzzer or the doorbell that signals the boss about a visitor. Look at how he's holding the rope in one hand, and the rope is completely covered with bells. When a visitor comes to see the boss, look at his left hand. He will ask, "What do you want?" like a typical security guard. And if you don't give a good answer, he will reply with this deadly weapon in the other hand. But if you actually had an appointment with the boss and he is satisfied with you, he will pull the rope to ring the bells, which will notify the boss. Now, who is the boss? Unfortunately, this is locked and we cannot go inside. The main chamber houses a single lingam. He is the boss. There are no other carvings on the pillars or on the walls, and this is also very unusual. Not only on the inside walls, the outer walls are also completely blank. The temple's design is a big mystery. It has a circle at the top, and this circular design goes all the way to the ground, making a cylindrical main chamber that houses the lingam. These cylindrical chambers are very rare in Hindu temples, and this main chamber is surrounded by a square structure, and then everything is enveloped by a weird kind of a square keyhole shape like this. On top, there is a huge open area, a flat surface, like 20-30 people can stand here. That's how much space is left. This is also not typical of a Hindu temple, and I don't know why this empty, flat space was needed. Because of all these unusual features, archaeologists and historians are having heated debates about the origin and the original builders of this temple. Everyone agrees that the temple's name is Vijayalaya Choleeswaram, but experts don't agree that it was built by Vijayalaya Chola. This is very surprising because the name of the king, Vijayalaya Chola, must have been used to name the temple. During this time, the temples were named after the kings who built them. But experts think this king did not build this, and even though there are lots of inscriptions, they're all mentioning only renovations, not construction from the scratch. So as of today, it's still not decided. It's a mystery who built this temple, but experts agree that this was the inspiration to build great temples like the Brihadiswara temple. Not only that, they also agree that this temple predates every other temple of the Chola dynasty and dated around 850 AD. That means this temple is more than 1,100 years old. And it is made 100% out of stone. No metal, no wood, nothing. This is called built-on architecture, where you keep adding one stone on top of another to build a structure. But in the same temple complex, we can see a completely opposite construction technique as well. There are two cave temples in front of this tower, and these two are artificial caves where they removed the rocks, not add anything to it. They had to remove huge chunks of rock to make these carvings. And the carvings are very, very strange. The wall has 12 carvings. Each one is gigantic, more than 7 feet tall, but they're all showing the same god, Vishnu. We have thousands and thousands of gods and goddesses in the Hindu pantheon. Why would they carve the same god 12 times side by side? And even more crazy, they're all identical. Lord Vishnu can be shown in 100 different varieties, but these carvings are identical to one another. And this gets even more weird as we see inside the chamber. There is a very odd lingam, if you can even call it a lingam. A lingam is usually a long cylinder. There is no cylinder here. It is just a mound. But if you see on top of this, you can see another odd feature. You can see tiny little pits, tiny depressions. There are exactly 24 of these tiny little unexplained pits. What could possibly be the purpose for these? Now let's see. There are 3 major shrines and 6 smaller chambers and 12 Vishnu statues and 24 depressions on this lingam. Coincidence? What do you say? This is just a sample because many such secret codes are hidden in this temple. All the temples built after this one were all built at ground level in plains. They were built in densely populated places to make sure they get a lot of visitors. But this one, the builders must have had a completely different reason for building this. It appears that they did not want any visitors. That's why they built it in such a remote place, on a hill. And even today, with India being the second largest populated country, this temple gets less than 10 visitors a week. Why did ancient builders purposely choose this difficult location? And please observe carefully, they had to flatten this surface artificially to erect this temple. At first look, it seems like a perfectly flat area on a hilltop, but this is not natural, and it's not easy to make a bedrock flat. They had to cut the uneven rock surface in this area to make it flat. As you can see here, only 1/2 of this temple was made flat. So the ancient builders definitely struggled with this. On the left side of the temple, you can see the slope, and they had to adjust these smaller shrines rather than make the rock surface flat because it is very difficult. But why didn't they just choose to build in an easier location? Why did they make such a unique design? Who actually built this temple? What was the purpose of these 6 empty chambers? Did they study animals and experiment with genetic modification? What's the secret of the numerical codes 3, 6, 12, and 24? Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I am Praveen Mohan. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.